I took two friends. One was a survival expert, so they could keep us alive. And we went out there. It felt like something out of Indiana Jones almost.
Imagine trekking 10 days through the outback looking for an ancient Australian tobacco plant that could hold the key to growing crops that can withstand disease and climate change, and also help develop life-saving vaccines.
I think it's very specialised for its conditions, and these happen to be the conditions that make a plant that's really suitable for biotechnology. So it is a magic plant, I think, yeah.
Professor Peter Waterhouse discovered the unique properties of the Nicotiana benthamiana plant, also known as benth, while tracing its history.
There are records of the Australian Virtual Herbarium stretching back to about the 1800s.
With only a rough idea of where the first benth plant was discovered near Uluru, Professor Waterhouse set off on a 10-day expedition, and after a week he got lucky.
We saw this craggy outcrop, but it was about 2 kilometres off the track. We searched for maybe an hour or two and we found one. There was a little community there. So it was quite exciting to actually go and find this. It was like finding buried treasure almost.
The benth plant was first discovered in 1936 by Adelaide scientist Sir John Cleland, and the seeds were eventually spread to labs around the world. These days it's often called the lab rat of plant genetics research, and Professor Waterhouse has been leading a team of scientists to sequence its genome for 7 years.
It's a great model plant because it has two genomes that are crashed together, so it has two copies of basically every gene, and a lot of crops are like this. They have multiple genomes inside their cell. So what we learn from using this plant we can apply to many other crops.
Professor Waterhouse's groundbreaking research is like a roadmap for other scientists working in genetic research, and the benth plant is also being used in biotechnology to develop new vaccines like the Ebola virus vaccine.
It's a special plant because it can be used for all these vaccines. Plants don't normally produce antibodies. It's a thing that animals do and plants don't. But you can put an antibody against Ebola, squirt it into the leaf of the plant, and it will produce that antibody for you.
Professor Waterhouse's team is also using the benth plant to engineer disease-resistant crops.
I'm working in making plant resistant to insects, and it's really exciting to know that the technology that I develop will help keep the crops healthier in the future.
What we want is to basically have accelerated evolution in our crop plants so that they're more resilient to drought and environmental stresses.
The benth plant is able to thrive in extreme conditions because it underwent a genetic mutation around 750,000 years ago. As a result, it basically lost its immune system.
It's divested itself of all sorts of luxury things like defending against viruses or pathogens and so on, which in this remote place there aren't very many insects or viruses or fungi.
To find out more about this unique plant, the genome sequence is available for free on QUT's website.
It's quite a good feeling to have it really done, and I guess the best feeling will be when we see how many people use it, because we think that it really will help a big sector of the scientific community.